Hey, what's going on YouTube? Burlington Northern HO fan. And in today's video, we're going to be addressing this issue here. Now, Life-Like Power-loc track does come with these bumpers, or buffers, or however you would say it is. Track hands, bumpers, anything. They're very rare, and I don't want to have to spend the time to find some. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this part and put it on this side. That way this is flat. I'll mound up the gravel. And then Walthers sells bumpers, buffers, track hands, whatever you want to call them, that you can put on your track. And I'm going to do that. That's my plan. I'm going to test it out on a track that I don't care about first, and then we'll go from there and start doing it to the track here. That's the plan for today's video. Let's try it out. Alright, so here I have a section of Life-Like Power-loc track that's completely broken. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to test it on this piece first and then do it to the actual track. So I'm going to cut here and put it onto this side. That's my plan. I'm going to use my Dremel and a cutoff wheel. It should work. Let's figure that out and see what happens. Alright, so here we have the cutoff wheel on the Dremel. I'm going to go for a low speed since it is just plastic. And I'm going to cut this and I'll show you guys what happens. Alright, so I've cut it off. But as you can see, it kind of melted a little bit. So you got to go a little slow or it's going to melt the plastic. I'm going to try latching it up now. And we're going to see if it'll work. Check that out, guys. It latched up. It'll work. So that's what we're going to do. Now that we know that it'll work, we're going to do it to the actual track. Let's go do it. Let's go grab the tracks and let's go do it. So the first thing that we're going to need to do is we're going to need to brush the gravel away from the track. So we're just going to brush it away. And we're going to put this back later. It's a good reason why I didn't glue it down yet. Alright, that should be good enough to get the gravel away. And now we're going to move the train cars and we're going to take this section of track out. Let's do that real quick. Now, I've done my best here to remove the piece of track without disturbing the gravel. Really, I should have done this before putting gravel here, but it is what it is. Now we can put the track back in here when we've got the gravel done. Or when we've got the track fixed. So let's go move it over. Actually, let's grab this one and bring it over as well. Alright, so we now have both sections of track. We're going to cut them. And I think we're going to also take the connections off them, since they won't be used anymore. So we're going to take those off as well. And we'll go from there. Let's start with this one. So to get this copper connection off without hurting the track, you're just going to go from the back side and you're just going to push it forwards. And then pull it with the pliers. And it should come right off. Alright, and there we go. Both the connections are gone off the track. Now they're there, sitting there. Now, I technically could put this back together as a working track. But since we're cutting it and modifying it, it's not going to ever be able to be used as anything else but for what we're using it for. And plus, it's Life-Like track. It's not worth that much. So, let's cut it and try it out and see how it looks. Alright, we've cut the section of track. Let's put the piece back on this side and see if that fits. There we go. Fits perfectly. So now we can just do that. And we've got a perfect setup for the end of the track. So now it looks a lot better. And we should be able to just pile up the gravel behind it. And then we'll have a perfect track end for our other two sidings. And maybe we'll end up doing the same to the ones that have the lights, because it might look nicer and more realistic. But we'll have to find out when we get those pieces. So let's do the other one. All right, there we go. Both tracks are modified. What we're gonna do, and I'm gonna do this just to be perfect and extra careful, is I'm gonna take some of this plastic liquid cement, and I'm gonna dump it in there so that way they're permanently connected. You can also use this super glue as well. This is one of my favorite brands of super glue to use. So you got to get the ultra gel stuff. It works a lot better because it's not a liquid, it's more of a gel, i.e., you know what it's called. So I think this works better for this kind of application. But today we're going to use the Testors liquid cement because it'll melt these two pieces of plastic together and make them permanent. So that's what we're going to do. You don't need a lot of this stuff, just a little bit. Otherwise, you're going to be melting so much plastic that it's going to break completely. So we just need a little couple drops. And then we'll put these pieces together, and then we'll be done. All right, there we go. We've got both of these cemented. Let's clean them up a little bit. These little hairs on the edges and stuff. Maybe sand them. Take a little bit of a file here. Let me grab my file. File the edges a little bit, make it a little nicer, and then we'll put them back on the track. All right, so both pieces of track are back into where they need to be. So now we're gonna brush this back in here. We're gonna brush this back in here like this. What I'm most likely going to end up doing is I'm going to start refilling this. I'm going to brush it more off camera. I'm going to start refilling it, and then I'll come back to you guys when I've got it filled up and the way I like it. Okay, so the plan's going to be to go for something like this. So, to have it bound up, and then you're going to put a bumper, buffer, or track end on top. And I think it should look pretty good. I'm going to clean this up a little bit more, and we'll go from there. That's the kind of look I'm going to try to go for here. It'll probably look better if the road bed was ballasted, but I'm going to try this for now. And I want to look, and once I get the bumper, the buffer or track end, whatever you want to call it, once I get that on here, and once I buy them and I put them on here, I think it'll look a lot better. The black kind of clashes with the brown, but it is what it is. It's the track I'm dealt with. Like I said, if I ballasted the track, it'd probably look a lot better, but I'm not going to ballast track that's this cheap. So, I mean, you kind of got to work with what you got here. So, you know, it is what it is. I think it looks pretty good. Let's get a train back here and see what it looks like with the train back here. All right, so we've got our good old 3100 GP40 Illinois Central locomotive here. Yet another railroad that I end up liking, besides Burlington Northern. We're going to back her over the track. Got the switch set up the wrong way. Let's take a look over. Guys, I really like the way that this has turned out. I think it turned out pretty good. So, I'm happy with it. Let's bring the train going forwards. Guys, I'm very happy with the way this has turned out. I like it a lot. This track over here, what we're going to do with this, we're going to end up doing this in a later video. We're going to do both of them at the same time. Once I get the bumpers for the track, we're going to just do it at the same time. I'm going to have the gravel and the bumpers in one video. That way it's easier and I don't have to do it right now, because I'm still deciding what I want to do over there for the gravel and everything like that. So, but that's what we're going to do for right now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys helped you out with modifying track. So don't be afraid to do it. It's pretty easy to do, especially if it's, if you're not worried about breaking it, because it's cheap and replaceable. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.